I suppose we'd best do this again. Never mind. Birthday Sharpe, do 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 do. Birthday Sharpe, do 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 do. Birthday Sharpe, do 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 do. Ah, hello. Greetings, welcome, willkommen, all the other ones. One of these days, I do swear I will write a list out and I will remember them. But anyway, so who we got in the chat today? Oh, we have a notification come up that's covered over the chat, so we can't see. But I did see that Dennis isn't here today, Mr. Bigfoot Fish Tanks. And Sam is here, Mr. Yeller. How you doing? And the lovely, gorgeous, beautiful Marek. Mwah. Happy birthday, my dearie. Thank you. Not that it's Marek's birthday. Yeah. Been a weird day. Been a weird week. So, yeah. Been an interesting one, though. Been up to more than I normally would be up to, and a couple of decisions have been made. So, firstly, work. It's work. But part of that does come in. The fish are doing well. No losses, no births, no weirdness going on. Why it is my getting old today. Thank you very much, Mr. Yeller. I are getting scarily close now to the 6th decade of life. Pardon me, yes, 47 today. Yeah. So, oh yeah. Oh, thank you, Scott and Paige. So, I knew it was near my birthday because Paige's birthday came up. And happy birthday to Paige as well. Me little giggler. Yeah, so fishies are all good. Work was okay. No dramas to report. I feel it, Dennis. I feel it. So, my bicycle, cycle, whichever you want to call it, the thing that I ride to work. Oh dear. It's all starting to go downhill then. And Tampa Toms and mowing. You're only as old as you feel, Marek, and you feel pretty good. Yeah. No, I haven't felt Marek. Well, maybe in dreams, not in real life. Yeah, so I'm doing some thinking, and I thought, the bike I ride to work and for wherever else I need to ride around to, it's 15 years old. So I thought I'd better, give it a bit of a service. Sort the brakes out. Oh dear, you got the ball of fire in the sky. It's rather warm here as well today, for me. I'm not entirely sure why. I've got no heating on, so unless a fish tank heater has malfunctioned and stuck on, but I don't see a whole bunch of dead fish anywhere, so we're good. Thank you very much, Patty. How are you, my dear? And yeah, on closer inspection, thank you very much, June. And I would never call you a member. There is your new friend. Yeah, on closer inspection, my old bike needs a lot of work doing to it. Basically, the only things that don't need replacing are the frame, the handlebars, and the seat. Everything else has pretty much had it. Bearings and the hubs are shot, the crank is shot, derailleur's shot, front derailleur's shot, chains had it, forks have had it, suspension at the back has had it. It's dead. So I was like, right, let's have a look, see how much it's going to cost to fix. And yeah, it would cost more to fix basically than a new bike would cost almost. So thinking, right, we're going to have to get a new bike at some point. And then I happened to see that we do the cycle to work scheme where I work, which is a very good government initiative. It's been around for quite a while, so the current government have nothing to do with it. Where what happens is, howdy Kenny, how you doing, my friend? What happens is you find out what bike you want within a certain reason. I think the upper limit is £2,000 because obviously people are using electric bikes now. I would, Tom, but I lost my license many years ago. So that's a story for another time. Oh, thank you very much, June, for the gifting of memberships. Always appreciated. Oh, 3G, Scotty, Quatty, Adam, Jamie, and Ed. Yay. So basically what happens is it's like a thing that comes out of your wages every month. So kind of like hire purchase or layaway. The difference is it comes out before tax and you get a discount on the bike as well. Like the employer pays a section of the cost. Because it drives a fitter workforce and also a greener environment and all the less traffic on the roads and all that kind of stuff. So did a bit of hunting around and yes, I'm getting a new bike. Providing the paperwork goes through, which typically I decide to do it on a bank holiday weekend, coronation. You don't need a license if you don't pull over. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't kind of have much choice because I was breaking the law in traffic. But yeah, so providing the paperwork all goes through okay, which I expect it shouldn't be an issue because I told the truth and I've not gone for a ludicrously expensive bike or anything. I went for not cheap, but serviceable and will do the job I want from a bike and is also upgradable and modern, which is always useful. That was going to be the other problem with my old bike is you can't get the bits for it anymore. So yes, we were having a new bike for new adventures, more zoomies. And the one I'm going to be going for is what they call a hybrid. So it's kind of sit up and beg, bit mountain bikey, but it's got more road bike oriented tyres and things like that. So it's ideal for what I need it for, which is mostly riding on the roads and cycle paths and a little bit of soft roading. So do the job. It's got front suspension. I'll put mud guards and the pannier rack and all the cool stuff on it. Sorry, fenders. All the stuff, the kickstand, the stuff that makes it look really not cool so people don't steal it. That's the main idea. Also, I want to use it and go on longer rides and explore places and find myself out and about. So yes, that's the big news from the week. And obviously, when I do get the bike, I'll film a video and because it's content. But yeah, so basically, for the cycle to work scheme, the payments come out before the tax does because we get PAYE, so we get paid. Our tax gets paid automatically. It automatically comes out of our wages every paycheck, whether it's weekly or monthly or whatever. So this comes out before taxes, which means you pay less tax and national insurance. So it's going to work out to £28 a month for 12 months for a £425 bike. So There we go. Bargain. I will show you what Mary got me in a moment. Mary, my dear, howdy fish family. Is that Matt or is that somebody else? Let me know. So, anyway, Mary got me a whole bunch of munchy food and things like that. You know, pork scratchings, chocolate, cheese straws. Oh, I forgot. I left the most expensive bit over there. Or what I think is probably the most expensive. I'll just go and grab that. It's also like the smallest bit, so probably the easiest bit for me to lose if I'm not careful. So we'll start off with this because it is rather small. But we have a gift card for the National Trust. So this year we will be going and visiting some National Trust properties. And yes, there will be videos from those places. So yes, very cool, very thankful for that. Fish Fam Link is a bot. Wow. Unless Fish Fam Link owns up to not being a bot. Because what do we do on this channel? We kick bots. Yeah, so we'll be exploring some ye olde places and ye pretty ancient places. Second thing I found was second present I opened, I should say, might not look like much. It's a USB charging plug. Just take 3, so I can charge lots of stuff off one power plug. Now, most people would go, yeah, and what? We all keep fish. We all know how much power points are a precious commodity. So that will save me 2 power points. Howdy whips us. Other thing she got me, and this is just going to look like a black brick. It's not a mobile phone. It's a power bank, so I can charge things up when I'm out and about. Oh, are you having problems with your internet, dear Marriott? So yeah, that's a, oh dear, you've got laggy net. Not a lot I can do about that, I'm afraid. So yeah, so I'll be able to charge things up out and about. Like if I decide I want to go somewhere and film something, and something paranormally decides to drain my cameras, I can then recharge my GoPro off of that, or my phone, so or my bike light, or my head torch, or something like that, or the light for the GoPro. Recharge all those things quite happily. And then the other things you got me for when we're out and about exploring and wandering about, only to be used in the countryside, is a pair of binoculars. Because if you walk around in the countryside with a pair of binoculars hanging around your neck, you look like a bird spotter or someone who's just interested in nature and wildlife. If you walk around a town with a pair of binoculars around your neck, you look like a pervert. So, yeah, they're becoming useful. And they've got an attachment-y thing so you can apparently mount your smartphone. Mount a phone to it and then basically film whatever you're looking at. Although if you're looking through binoculars, I don't think a smartphone is going to have the zoom capability. So, especially not mine. And plus, my case has got this funny thing so that when you open the camera phone case, it covers the camera. I don't need it. I know I don't need those to be a perv. Yeah, you don't need to advertise it to all and sundry that you're a perv. We're all friends here, so you know. Hello, Angelique. Or Angelique, whichever. I can never remember. You did say, I think. Your birdies had eggies. Were we hoping they're fertile? Oh, love you too, Merritt. Yes. Although I do know someone who, I mean, this person was immensely dumb. By which I mean, no, there's no concept of thinking about things or understanding. And he was a photographer. Well, he liked taking photographs of things, so he called himself a photographer. And he was taking pictures of some berries on a bush or some flowers or something that looked really nice. So he thought he'd take a nice picture of it. He's also blind as a bat, bless him. Oh, I don't say bless him, curse him, because the guy's an absolute douche canoe. But yeah, what he didn't notice, because he's like Mr. Magoo and extremely short-sighted, is that basically what it looked like is he was taking pictures of a child's playground with lots of children in it. I think it was a school playground even at that. So yeah, he was innocently taking pictures of the berries and flowers on this bush, and yeah, ended up getting shouted at and sworn at for being a kiddie fiddler. I mean, he's a lot of things, but that's one thing he is. Absolute end of a bell. We'll go with that. Howdy, Trash Cat. Thank you very much. Always good to see people. But yes, we have the cards from Nadine about finding the occasional grey hair. They're not occasional, Nadine. A lot of them. If I grew my beard, I'd look like Santa Claus. The one from Mary is sort of soppy and lovely, and the one from Adam that's basically inferring that I would rather have a nap. Yeah, I think he was saying that as, oh, that's funny, that's a joke. Yeah, I would rather have a nap usually. Obviously not for this. I enjoy this, but most other things I'd rather just have a nap. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I can't see the picture well enough, but you look considerably younger than me if that is you in that picture, Trash Cat. As I'm older than I look. Apparently, I get told quite regularly, "Oh, you don't look that old." Or when I quote some TV show or movie or something, and how do you remember that? Or how do you know that? I remember it. I was there. Where's Mom? Probably still asleep. Or getting a coffee, I'm going to guess. Or getting attacked by Mario. That's usually the case. One of the three. The demon cat. But yeah, so that's, and I've also been out in the garden doing more clearing of weeds and crud, and I did film a video of that earlier in the week. But as you hear, we'll do a bit of a spoiler. So Watson and Holmes are both okay. They're the two red and white comets. Sarasses, some posh name. These comets to me. Lucky, the rescue goldfish, the one that got savaged by the cat, is in there. He's still alive. He's doing well. And Baldric, the little friend I bought Lucky, because when Lucky was indoors recovering, he was very skittish, so we say, understandably. So I bought her a little friend who's a yellow comet with certain black markings, which might have been the reason I bought him. You know those fish that look like a certain Austrian dictator? Yeah. But I called him Baldric because you're not going to get in trouble for calling something Baldric on the internet. Oh, you go do mum things, Marriott. Fist bump for Chris. Is that a reflection on the screen on the wall? Yeah, it is. But I was wondering if there was some kind of spectral thing sitting down there. I think it is just a light reflection. Tommy's here. He's been a member for 6 months. Oh, he's been a member for a lot longer than that, but anyone else starting a garden? Sweet potato babies are so pretty. No sweet potatoes, but I am growing zucchini and herbs, or as you might call them, herbs. Is it too late to start seeds? No, not at all. Don't cast out till May is out, is the saying. May meaning the hawthorn, and that basically means don't plant seeds out until the hawthorn's in flower. And the hawthorn's in flower, so yay. None of the zucchini have come through yet, but once they do, I'll get the mini cloches over them to protect them from pigeons and things, and then we'll have pleco food for the summer. Other than that, I'm really good at growing blackberries. You just ignore the garden and they just turn up everywhere. And that's part of what has been savaging me mostly is blackberries. Oh dear, we got the cucumber jokes. Inside of a warm, safe place. I'm not going to think about that too much. Thank you very much. Be good. I'm guessing first name Johnny. Has to be the joke. You've probably heard it every single stream, but there we go. We are getting some really quite strange light effects going on today, aren't we? Hopefully they're just reflections and things. If they start moving around, let me know. Because we've had quite a few thunderstorms around the last few days, and that tends to amp up activities of a certain type. We had our ghost at work actually wandering around the place the other day. As you heard the footsteps as he was walking about. Who's been WhatsApping me? Who's that? I'm getting random happy birthday messages from people I have no idea who they are on WhatsApp. Okay. Oh yeah, it's got to be nice and wet too. Got to have plenty of lubrication. You don't want to snap it off. Yeah. Stop going on about cucumbers because I can't help but get perverse when I think about cucumbers. Because that is the only use for them. They're not food. And even plecos don't particularly enjoy them. They'll eat them, but there's so little nutritional value in a cucumber that it's basically crunchy water with seeds, let's be honest. Might as well just put ice blocks in there. Thanks for the tips. Just a tip? Oh dear. Sorry. Double entendre, didn't you mean double enders? There's a full. Do not forget to give a thumbs up if you're enjoying the stream. So that's not going to get any more thumbs up because people don't enjoy this. Watching a middle-aged fat man grumble about the world and try and make bad jokes. Not the most entertaining of things, but given what Sunday night TV is like in the UK, oh dear. How deep to bury the seeds? Cucumbers, I would think about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches. Be plenty deep enough. Hang on. We have my packet of courgette seeds. Those cucumbers are fairly similar. Yeah, that's a 1/2 inch to 1 inch for those. So yeah, always, yeah, but that depends where you're burying them, Sam. Come on. Finish on the pickled onion monster munch. Have you had a pickled onion monster munch by any chance, and now you're addicted to them? Because the pickled onion aren't the best ones. The roast beef are the best ones. The only thing you're working with is 2.5 inches. That's pretty much all you can bury. Oh dear. Bun Bun! Hello, Bunny, my dear. How are you? Not. I mean, yeah, they're nice, but if you really want to try good crisps, they'd probably sell them on Amazon. Seabrooks or Brannigan's. Brannigan's are the king of crisps or chips, as you might call them. Yeah, pickled onion monster munch are pretty good, but there are better. And my favourite is probably. Ooh, what would my favourite crisp probably be? I don't know. It's probably, if you can get hold of them, the Brannigan's roast beef and mustard. Follow that with the Seabrooks roast beef or the Seabrooks roast garlic flavour. Whipsus, Whip Squatch, how you doing, my friend? What's the weather like up there? That's a joke in more than one way. I just bought me a bacon, egg and cheese croissant. Ooh, yum, 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 yum. Soft fried egg, I hope. So you get the yolk running all over the croissant. Ooh, lovely. Yeah, favourite crisp flavours. Barbecue beef hula hoops are damn good as well. And the Walker's Sensations oven roasted chicken and thyme. They're a good one. Or an actual American flavour, or American brand, I believe. Well, they're marketed as American over here. I don't know if they are. McKennedy's do a mac and cheese flavour crisp, and those things are superb. And they come in single serving bags as well. Howdy, Shrimpy. I'm good. You hope yourself is too. Oh dear, Bun's not doing well again. Healing hugs and thoughts. Yeah. To everyone's favourite little bunny. Howdy, Tommy. You've been lurking away on your pinball machine again, haven't you? Or are you doing more DIY around the house? Actually, that's a question. See, over here, like doing renovations or work around the house, like replacing doors and that kind of thing, is DIY, do it yourself. Do you call it the same thing in the States, or do you have a different phrase for it? Mac and cheese chips. Oh, they're stunning, Tommy. If you can find them, I mean, they come into Lidl's on like their American weeks. So whether they are an American brand or not, but McKennedy's sounds rather Scottish to me, but you do call it DIY, fair enough. Goodo. Lurking at the grocery store with my only escape from my only children. Oh, stop! I'm getting hungry. Okay, we'll stop talking about food. Now, do I go get the pork scratchings, the crit cheese biscuits, the cheese straws, the chocolates, the pickled onions, the Haribo? A handyman. Yeah, that term is used over here, but it also means something different around here. I was replacing old doors with new handyman type stuff. Fair enough. Yeah, it depends what it is. I'll do what I can. But it's one of those things where sometimes you look at it and you go, right, if I want to do this, I'm going to need to get this tool, this tool, this tool, this tool, get this thing and this thing, and I'm going to have to get them delivered. And then you figure out how much it's all going to cost, and then you realize it's actually cheaper to get someone in to do it, and they're going to do a better job anyway. So I can't even saw a bit of wood straight. But then if I had the correct tools, I probably could saw a piece of wood straight. If you can't do it, one of the buddies does, and you got the beer, vice versa. Exactly. So that is the good thing about, well, the good thing. One of the good things about my new job is I'm getting to know a lot of tradesmen around the area. So plumbers, chippies, brickies, sparkies, all the other various trades, fencers. So yes, I've got a card from a man to come and replace my fence. I know, someone like Tommy, that's a minor thing to do, but for me, digging out post holes and putting in posts and making sure they're vertical, and then nailing all the wood on and blah blah blah. Nah. A friend I would work with say, yeah, trees don't go straight. Yeah, there is that, which I think is why, like the likes of the various pine trees, those kind of flavors, that's why they're so popular for building these days, because they do tend to grow quite straight. So you get a lot of wood for a certain size tree, so they grow straight and fast. Whereas, I mean, an oak beam will last you, you know, an oak beam will last hundreds, if not thousands of years in a house. And a pine one might do 30 to 50. That's the difference. I think they last as long as they take to grow. Don't all for living at some point. I'll say, think I'm a country boy. I am too. I mean, there's things I can do, and I could probably do a lot more than I do, but I'm lazy, and I put things off as long as I can until I can save up and pay someone else to do it. Usually, which, as I know, I'm needing to get the fence done. Oh, Angelique's to make her lasagna again. Oh, it's hard to find good help. Sharpe said doo-doo. Yes, I said doo-doo. And I'm also going to say Nanakara so you can have a drink. Yes, lasagna. You know what's even better than lasagna? Lasagna sandwiches. Oh yeah. Trust me, if you've not done it, trust me. And not your Wonder bread, some proper bread. And cold lasagna, or even warm lasagna, 2 bits of buttered bread. Mwah. Screw your Michelin stars. Things with a foam of this and a jus and a drizzle of that and a cloud of it. No. Give me a lasagna sandwich or a shepherd's pie sandwich or something like that, and I'll be a lot happier. Doo-doo butt. Yes, lasagna. Yes, give it a try, Whip. Trust me. Yeah, meatloaf. Well, I mean, meatloaf sandwich is basically just a corned beef sandwich, as far as I'm aware. Able-bodied people really need. If I don't want to step up to my, if I don't want to step up my game, does that mean I can claim I'm not able-bodied? Not taking food advice from somebody who thinks baked beans and tomatoes go with breakfast. I don't think baked beans and tomatoes go with anything because they're foul and shouldn't be eaten. But yes, a full English breakfast is sausages, eggs, bacon, black pudding, fried tomatoes, fried mushrooms, baked beans, toast, fried bread, and a cup of tea. Yeah, you basically just get a slice of lasagna, put it on a bit of bread, and yeah. And literally, it's when you got your leftover lasagna, you put it in a sandwich. Trust me, it's really good. Although, because I'm not a foodie and I live on my own, so I'm not going to cook a big lasagna just for me. So I tend to buy little microwave lasagnas, which are a good serving for one person. Because I'm a really fat person, I have some bread with it. And then one day I thought, why don't I put the lasagna in the bread? And I, ooh, it's even better. Down for all of it except the blood pudding and beans. Don't knock it till you tried it, Tommy. Black pudding is lush. It's one of those, exactly, Angelique. It's one of those foods that if no one told you what was in it and you didn't know what was in it, you'd like it. But then you find out what's in it and you decide you don't want to eat it. There's also white pudding as well, which is a very similar product. Um, just not congealed. Uh, I'm not entirely sure what white pudding is made of, but yeah, it tastes fairly similar to me anyway. But yeah, black pudding is lovely. Fried up in the bacon fat. Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those things where in the UK, historically, we've eaten a lot of offal and things like that. No, there's the old saying is the only bit of the pig we don't use is the oink. Um, but yeah, so no, we will have our liver, our kidneys, our heart, sometimes chicken gizzards, the pig's trotters, chicken feet, tripe, all the bits that you're probably not allowed to eat in America. They probably made them. I think is offal like illegal in most states. I think so. I did hear something about that somewhere. Live off Spanish rice, eggs, and potatoes. Yeah, rice, eggs, and potatoes. That will work. Bit of gravy on that, be perfect. Um, And yes, eggs and gravy does work. Thanks very much. Now, you enjoy your croissant, Bunny. It'll be delicious. Would you like some coagulated byproduct with your toast? We can eat anything we send the people in Walmart. You eat those as well. I really used to enjoy it when Bob Kaler, several years ago, he used to park up outside Walmart and just with his phone and just have it like pointing out and do a live stream. So you'd have your chat going on. You'd be watching the people coming in and out of Walmart. Oh my God. I mean, I've worked in supermarkets in the UK. So we see people coming in their onesie or the dressing gown and slippers, sorry, robe and slippers, that kind of thing. But my God, some of the people I've seen in those Walmart videos. Yeah. It's one of those things. I mean, I think most of the supermarkets now basically have a dress code. They won't let shirtless men in. They won't let women in bikinis in. Yeah, those kind of things. So if you're not actually dressed, you probably won't get in. And people have a little grumble and then turn around and walk off. If you tell them they've got to wear an even smaller piece of cloth over their face, and they get really upset about it. I can't breathe through a mask. Is it all right if I just do this? Dude, that's the same as wearing a friggin' mask. Hair rollers, pajamas. I say it's the same. I mean, we used to get them in the convenience store I used to work in as well. We don't get them where I work now because it's a hardware store. If it's just based on the dress, definitely a Walmart. Now you see, ratty t-shirt and shorts, t-shirt and shorts, Crocs. I mean, I'd wear sneakers, but that's what I'd go in. It's what you'd consider just normal clothing. You don't have to get dressed up and put your makeup on and things like that. Short shorts. How short shorts though? Were you winking at people? They're that short, they might. As if, much like with jean shorts, if the pockets are visible out the bottom of your jean shorts, they're too short. Anything goes, it's convenience shopping. So that is the other thing I've noticed is we just don't have stores that size, just that big. Um, most of our stores, a couple of aisles worth of a Walmart at most. Even a chicken steaks. Oh, bless. Actually, that's a conversation I was having with someone the other day on Reddit about animals and us wearing clothes. Does it actually like confuse or kind of freak out some pet animals the first time they see you like taking your trousers or your shirt off? This person was saying that yes, their rabbit gets kind of freaked out whenever they take their clothes off. And it was Aki Boy, bless him. At first he got a bit confuddled, and then I just literally started telling him that I'm going to take my fur off. Didn't wear clothes around large birds. Oh, you don't need to promise me, Tommy. I've spent many years living on chicken farms. Yeah. Even something like where you got a little scab on the back of your hand. If a bird sees that, they'll pick it clean off. You know, if you've got a skin tag or a mole or a spot or something, and you've got a pet parrot, it will come up and it will literally just pull it off. Ow! Oh, thanks. They hunt for the blood. Yeah, it's they need protein in their diet, and a lot of pet birds don't get a huge amount of protein in their diet. Normally in the wild they get it from insects and worms and things like that. Is it me? Stream's looking fine from my end, Whip. Well, I think Marrett had issues as well, so might be a randomness, might be a weather thing. Sarah, hello, my dear. How are you? Yeah, it's aliens. Scott, you sort them all out, mate. You're the one with the alien in your name. Mr. Alien World Airsoft and Aquatics. Good day, my dear. And yes, and obviously the other big news of the week is King Charles's coronation yesterday, which I worked through, so I didn't see any of it. Although, as a gesture of good faith, we're being allowed to close 2 hours early tomorrow. And I was on the close, which means I've got to go in 2 hours early. Which means I've got 2 hours less time tomorrow morning to water change all these tanks. Well, the fry rack, it doesn't take that long, but it takes me a while to get. Who's claiming to be an alien? That's Scott with Alien World Aquatics and Alien World Airsoft. I had to think for it. I knew it was Alien, then I forgot what the rest of the channel name was. Been doing water changes, so in and out from looking at chat. Well, get your water changes done, Whippy. They're more important. Happy, healthy fishies are the important thing. And I thought I'd got all them buggers out of there. Random 2-inch bristle noses showing up again. Last thing we want. Because as you can imagine, catching any fish in that tank is a swine, let alone trying to catch bristle noses out of there. Have to find this alien. Follow the sound of the meowing cats and you'll find Alf. Yeah. What is? Yes, bristle noses. I did have an idea. Now, if one of these larger bristle noses turns out to be a female, a girly bristle, I may leave her in there with Spotty, the male bristle nose, and then I might pull Bertie out, who's the female sunshine bristle nose, move the paler of the lemon eye or lemon blue eyes on, and pop Bertie in with the lemon blue eye, Doug. Now she's a lemon, but she's a lemon with albino trait, so she's the lemon blue eye colour, but she's got red eyes. Now, if I cross her with a lemon blue eye, what's likely to come out? Am I going to get lemons with some with red eyes, some with blue eyes? Am I going to get commons? Am I going to get a mix and all sorts of weird and wonderful creations come out? Oh. Mailman put fish in the mailbox yesterday. Grr. Box said handle with care and live fish. Yes, that would involve the mailman actually reading what the box said and paying attention and caring. As I say, the joke in the UK is if it says fragile on the box, it means throw underarm only. And that's why they charge so much to ship live animals like fish. Because they have to come via a specialist company that's got a special license to do it. But yeah, half the fish were dead, or they were all half dead. So they might revive and be okay, or guppy fry for George. I hope. Well, at least with guppies, you only need a few. If you got a male and a female, that's enough. Had a massive pond snail die off in my filterless tank with minnows. Had to switch into one of the other filterless tanks. Thank God I had another filterless tank to go with no fish in it. Yeah. You're not doing well. Are you using text to chats, Tommy? Oh, dead. Oh, dear. Fragile. Or fraggily. Yeah, Fishman Link is definitely a bot. Yeah, so that's a spot of luck. Because if you got a big snail die off, that's even with a filter, that's going to bang the ammonia levels through the roof. Yes, talk to text, and I'm done now. Friggin' Stocks. Oh, well, just be glad you don't have my accent, because it really doesn't work. All dead snails, yes. Apparently they all stink real bad. And if you get a big die off like Tommy's had with his pond snails, obviously I can only imagine because I have no sense of smell, but that's going to honk. That's not going to be pretty. That's going to smell like Aquafunk after a Taco Bell. I think the worst one I had was when the heater died in the bottom tank back when it was a tub. And I had a whole bunch of ram's horn and trumpet snails die off, along with half a spawn of bristlenoses, and they basically cooked overnight. It was rather warm in here in the morning, and then I was like, oh, why is it so? When I went over to feed them, it was like, geez, there's some heat coming out. Oh, right. Yo, Anthony, how you doing? Hope all is good. Mysteries are bigger, so maybe more. Yeah, there's more of them to rot, basically. But then pond snails can get pretty damn big. I mean, some of the snails in my pond are sort of 2 inches long, pretty much. They're big, chunky beasts. Well, they have to be any smaller than that, and they get eaten. Had a batch of mystery snail hatchlings die. It was horrific. Yeah, I would think pleco and snail soup is probably a worse smell, but yeah, I'm not. I mean, there were complaints about the smell on Facebook when I tipped that one outside. It was a bare bottom tote, so I was like, well, yeah, they're all dead. There ain't nothing alive in there. And the fact that I couldn't put my hand in the water is kind of proof of that, because it was hot. So yeah, let it cool down, and poured it all outside. Yeah, there were complaining people on Facebook going, it's a really bad smell. Does anyone know what it is? And I'm thinking, oops, that'd be me. Now, do we say, yes, sorry, that's me. I poured 10 gallons of fish and snail soup out in the back garden? Or do we keep our gob shut and just pretend like nothing happened? I went for the second option. Same when I redid the pond and cleared all the sludge out the bottom of the old pond. Apparently that honked to high heaven as well. I didn't know, I can't smell it. So I did the right thing and just spread it all over the garden. Yes, Whips are like me, no sense of smell. How's its upsides, don't it, Whip? No, we can't smell freshly mown grass or honeysuckle after a rain shower or bacon cooking. We also can't smell rotting mystery snails or rapashi or any of the other nasty smells, usually things that come out of my body. The substrate may have been putrid, but I reckon it had grown some pretty good plants. All that ammonia in there. Smells so bad. My wife walked into the fish shed, grabbed her nose, and immediately turned around and ran out. She thought it was me. Yeah, well, we are capable of producing some pretty foul smells, us men. Oh, happy birthday, Sarah. That's you're one day before me then. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sarah. Happy birthday to you. Sorry, that was really bad. Not a problem. Because I'm not high tech enough, you see. I'm not high tech, so I don't have like a button I can press and it automatically plays a little video and jingle of it. So I just sing the song. It's more of a personal touch, I think. And it's Steph's birthday today. That would be why she's not here then. She's doing more fun things. But if Steph does turn up, I shall sing a happy birthday to Steph as well. As long as she weren't born the same year as me, because, you know. If Steph is 47, then whoops. And Sarah's only 18, so we don't have to worry about that. Ugh. Do we use box Yorkshire pudding mix? Is it any good? No, we don't. We might, if we're feeling lazy, buy the pre-made, the Aunt Betty's frozen Yorkshire puddings. But yeah, it's just flour, bit of salt, and milk, basically. There's not much more in it for a Yorkshire pudding batter. To be honest, if you buy Yorkshire pudding mix, you're basically just buying flour. Don't believe it. Yes. Good Victor Meldrew quote. I don't bloody believe it. Yes. I still think the best one was when he went to pick up the phone and they were looking after a little puppy. And he goes to pick up the phone, he picks up the puppy and puts his finger, hello? Yeah, it is literally, it's just, yeah, it's flour, milk, bit of oil, salt, and what do you use to raise it? It's not bicarb. Is there a raising agent in there? Might be. But just Google a recipe. You'll see how simple it is, Patty. The trick is to have the pan smoking hot before you even put the mix in. Yeah, meat drippings, yes, that meat is infected. Right, so generally what we would do traditionally is roast the meat, use most of the juices that come out of the meat to make the gravy, but we'd save the fat that comes out to make the Yorkshire puddings. Somebody's got to keep a beard or we can't do PG-13 movies. And he can't even hold up his hands and go, I'm 10. As I say, if I didn't, well, not shave, trim this and let it grow out and get all good and bushy, yeah, people would start thinking I was some kind of UK equivalent to Grandfather Guppy or whatever. If you're a fish. That 9 or 7 3/4. I mean, there are some people from North who can do that and say they're 12, so, you know. I did, and then hit 36 and it just stopped. Yeah, I mean, I got asked for ID probably 5 or 6 years ago now to buy a 15 rated movie. And I literally, I mean, it was only a young girl behind the till. I think it's a case of she had to ask legally because of her age. But I just looked at her and I was like, I've got a beard with grey in it. Do you really think I'm under 15? So I need to see some form of proof of ID because otherwise I can't sell you the DVD. I was like, Shelley? Hello, John. Yeah. Am I 15? Yes. I'll miss it when it's gone. It's gone. And the fact of that is all just white now. Yeah. And we have to do it at work as well. We have to ask ages for things. I'm like, if you buy a pair of scissors, you have to prove you're 18 to buy them because they've got a sharp blade. If you want to buy a chainsaw, you can buy it at any age. You don't have to be 18. I mean, there's plenty of grey up here as well, but thankfully there's still enough dark left that it just looks like it's shining in the light. More of a please input your birthday kind of. Yeah, I mean that would be the easier one. Is that rather than to show an ID card or something, like, what's your date of birth? Is everyone knows their date of birth off by heart, and they'll just roll it off. If they're trying to make up their date of birth to make themselves older, they'll have to sit and work it out for a couple of seconds. It took 33 years to grow a beard. Yeah, I was shaving at 13. Yes, I got called into the headmaster's office about shaving because I hadn't, and I had a bit of a beard going on. Silver fox. Yeah, you're fairly light haired, so it won't show up too much. Evening, folks. Oh, Danny boy. The pipes are calling. Oh, that was a craze a few years ago for young people to dye their hair grey over here because apparently it made them look more successful because like they had a high stress job and they went grey early. So yeah, but everyone knows you work in a supermarket. It shows up in streaks in the beard. Yeah, I had the odd grey and then the odd ginger, and then it just kind of went white overnight. But yeah, it wasn't until my 40s it started going grey and falling out. So, but the thing no one tells you when you're younger, the first bits of hair that start going grey are not your beard, they're not on your head, they're in the pubic region. They're the first hairs that start turning grey, and that can be a bit of a shock if you're not expecting it. Good day, Marquis Mark. How are you, my friend? Hope you're still enjoying your murder on denial. The old bastard. Yes, I'm an old bastard now. Only 20 years till I get my pension. Oh dear, 20 years. Pube's not great leg hair though. Yeah, but see with your leg hair, what you can do is get on your bike and cycle around, and then you can claim you shaved your leg hair for aerodynamics, not because it's gone grey. Although obviously for that you have to ride a racer bike with those weird curl under handlebars, and you know those bikes that give you a bad back and you can't breathe if you got a gut. Instead of doing a bike story about leg hair. No, it's all right. I'm not going to go sniffing it. What pubes live in California? So no. Yeah, true. So if you remember back to when you were younger, Yella, that thing that was hanging down between your legs that you didn't pee through, that was a pube. Um, blonde, yeah, exactly. When you're light haired, it doesn't show so much. It's just in beards, but yeah, when you're dark haired like me, it really does start showing up. I mean, somewhere around here, there is a grey streak. There you go. Somewhere, where is it? Somewhere at the back, not the front. So I'll grab all of it. We might find somewhere in there's a grey streak because that came from the first time I knocked myself out. I had a grey patch turn up in overnight. That was at 15 and it stayed there ever since. You get any footage of the laser light show at the pyramid? Pyramids, that's the word. Ooh, lots of laser light shows. Haven't got any grey hair since turned dark out. You have hair? Oh, you talking your eyebrows? Sorry, Dad. A light show. Ooh. Why do we not say pyramids like we say pyro? Uh, I think it's the language they originally came from, the words. Because pyro is going to be Latin or Greek. I think pyramids actually does come from the Egyptian. I'm not entirely sure. Eyebrows, chest. You got the full chimp fest going on as well then. That makes two of us. Blood red pyramids are in Mexico. Yeah, they're more of a dark brown colour these days though, I think. Hairless from the neck down, lucky you. Oh dear. Pyro will be Greek, I think, which melded with Egyptian during the early rains. Yeah, possibly. It's English, don't question it, just accept it. That's probably the best way to look at it, Whip. The Ptolemies, yes. Not the Ptolemies, the Ptolemies. It's weird having the capital letter is the one you don't pronounce. Pyramids. Yeah, I can go with that. Although having Ra in the middle of it, would that be anything to do with the Egyptian god of the sun, Ra? Yeah, Ra? Yeah, maybe. You never know. Sorry, like Tommy all of a sudden. You lob off a finger too. Whip's got hooks. Or he's typing with the nails through his palms. One or the other. Whip could craft a new finger out of his amazing flowing hair. I'm sure he could. Whip does have amazing hair. Hair that... And Whip, if you ever decided to get your hair all cut off, go to a lady's hairdresser. Not only will they do a better job of it, but they'll probably cry at the thought of doing it. It's just got lazy thumbs. Yeah, that's usually my excuse. I just fat thumbed it. Because, yeah, I always turn the autocorrect and the predictive crap off because it always comes up with something I didn't want to type. So I spend more time deleting and retyping what I wanted to type than it would take to just type it. I think mainly it's for lazy people who can't spell. Speech stops when it gets it wrong, I don't correct it. I look foolish. Maybe laziness from the win. Yeah. Well, you'd never look foolish, Sam, so, you know. I think we all understand these things these days, and it's usually a good sign of what someone's using to type. Oh, God. Where's my phone going silly? What random personages sending me chats? I have no idea. You know the one when people start sending you messages and you've got no idea who they are. I got one on WhatsApp this morning and I have no idea who that is. People keep changing their bloody profile picture. Spelling English is hard to suit some teams. My lady, how are you, my dear? Hope all is wonderful with you. Ooh, we still got half a puff there. We'll finish that one off. Hooked on phonics worked for me. Oh, God. Yeah, that's just one of the dumb things we do. We start teaching children to read by using phonics, which is great, but phonics isn't how it's spelt. So you teach them to read using phonics, and then you have to reteach them to read in English. Just start in English. Howdy, Clark. How's the mini fish room and yourself? Linda Morton, how is making rounds again with the AI system that killed 29 humans? All the governments like saying about it. Yeah, I don't trust AIs. That's why I don't use them. It's one of those times when Warhammer 40,000 makes sense, because they banned the use of AI in the 41st millennium, or as they call it, abhorrent intelligence. Oh, and Dan's writing in Cyrillic now. Even I can read that last Wookiee comes out in English. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't speak Russian. I'm assuming that's Russian Cyrillic. Convinced autocorrect and talk to text are against us, a conspiracy against humans to make us sound more foolish than we actually are. You know, the thing is, whatever I were to put into, say, Chat GPT, it would just come up with nightmare fuel. And yes. Oh dear. And now everyone's starting to talk in Russian. Oh joy. Hello, Dee Dee. How are you, my dear? Hope all is well with you. Oh, finally have a diagnosis. It explains all the tiredness. Excuse my absence. I'll visit again when I can. Road to recovery. Well, big healing hugs for you, my lady. And yes, one is, I mean, just the relief of having a diagnosis of what something actually is can be half of the journey to getting better. So, yes, I know what it is. Now I know what to do and what not to do, and maybe what to take. Or it's so I can sympathise, because it took me. I mean, it only took a few months to get diagnosed with irritable bowel. Not even that. Maybe a month, 2 months. So, yeah, maybe a month after I actually went to the doctors about it. But it took 6 months to get it sorted, because the first my doctor was telling me, take more fibre. You got to eat healthy. Blah blah blah. Go to the first specialist, more fibre, eat healthy. Second specialist, more fibre, eat healthy. You know, you take these because they're full of fibres. Yeah. And all the while, I'm getting worse and worse and worse. And I finally got to the third specialist, who was one that thinks outside of the box. And he's like, right, so looking at your notes, everyone's been telling you to eat healthy. Have you been eating healthier? I'm like, yeah, I have. I've, you know, eating all my fruit, not my fruit, but my veg and my high fibre foods, and taking my fibre gel and blah, 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 and doing all this. Like, I'm wondering if it's fibre that's the problem. I sat and I thought for a minute, I was like, you know, you might be right. Yeah. Just try switching to a low fibre diet. I did. I'm not saying I'm better, I'm cured, but oh, DFK questions AI about keeping fish. Yes, excelente video. All starts where it ends. Bowels are important. They are, especially when you're losing weight at an alarming rate, because nothing stays in you longer than half an hour. Yeah, it's my body doesn't like fibre now. But yeah, that's the thing, is I'm a typical man, and even though we don't have to pay to go to the doctors over here, men tend not to go to the doctors unless they really have to. And I've basically got told to by work. They're like, you've had too much time off with the same thing. What does the doctor say? Well, I've not been to the doctor. Why not? Right, get your butt down to the doctors. Oh, thank you very much, M&C. How are you? Hope all is well with you. Yeah, so I just have to avoid fibre, stress, and anxiety. It can be a bit difficult. Oh dear, you got sick. Oh dear, that's not good. Getting ill on holiday. Doctor went to send me to hospital. That would have shot the whole trip down in flames. Too much sugar intake can also make you drop weight quickly. Yes. Although that level of sugar intake for me would be monstrously high. Fibre, stress, anxiety, shifts on weekends, and heavy lifting. Yeah, when I've got a dose of IBS going on, I ain't doing any heavy lifting. I ain't doing anything. Avoid doctors. I say, even though I say over here it is free to go to doctors. 30th plus. Yeah, it's more than half of that again. So we'll. Yeah, exactly. And anxiety makes you ill. It's only fairly recently that the doctors here are avoiding us. Yeah, I'm trying to get an appointment at the doctor is a bit of a nightmare, but it's because so many people go when they don't need to. Go to the doctor, a couple of stitches one time, you're in debt for 10 years. Yeah, I say, so I watch things and read stuffs, and I like see it, and I go, oh, right, so yeah, gone in for an X-ray and then a cast on a broken wrist. How is that $20,000? An X-ray, fibre to take, maybe 10, whatever. Some plaster for a cast is probably a couple of quids of the plaster and a couple of quids of the bandage. I mean, you've got to pay a doctor. Yeah, so I mean, a few hundred should be enough. No. Oh, thank you, my lady. Could walk 33 without having to regain my breath. An hour on a drip and antibiotics help big time. Sometimes it's literally just a drip because we don't realise that we've got really dehydrated, especially if we're ill. It's in the video that lady in New York got crashed by a subway train. People were saying, call the ambulance. She refused. Yeah. And it happens over here as well when Americans come to live or study in the UK or Europe. They have to actually be told, no, if you're ill, go to the doctor. They have an accident and someone tries calling an ambulance and they're like, no, don't call an ambulance. No, it's free. You don't pay a penny for it, or like 20 euros or something. Don't even have a car payment or a house payment, and we're still in the negative every month. Can begin to imagine how people with a mortgage and a car loan are making it. They're not. That's the problem. They're just getting further and further in debt. Until at some point, everyone is so far in debt that more of the banks collapse. Geez, almost 1 million in surgeries. Wow. I mean, they should at least put some kind of upper limit on there. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to have to pay for it and got insurance and blah blah blah, I mean, the way insurance works over here is normally there's an excess where you have to pay like the first certain amount. It's normally about £500 at most, and that's like if you write your car off or something. There should also be an upper limit. So if you've got something like cancer or a lifelong condition, you've got that set amount that you've got to pay, no matter what extra care you need afterwards. Good idea, Danny boy. Or you could just, find the recent graves, dig them up. Hospital work for a month was over £1 million. Ouch! Yeah, it's just ridiculous. $100 a year in income is 25 plus years payoff for one injury. Yes, it's just ridiculous. And then I don't want to get political, because we all know how that ends. Ooh, funny. But from over here, at least, it seemed like President Obama was trying to bring in something more akin to the National Health Service. And then people were voting against it. Why are you voting against something that's going to make it better for everybody? 27 grand. How much would it be to buy your own helicopter? Could have had Bernie. Yes. And you did get the Trumpenführer. So you'd have been better off with Bernie. Try to say most of the cost was fuel. I mean, I know helicopters do burn a lot of fuel, but yeah, no. In Australia, you can get an ambulance subscription that costs $100 a year for a family. See, that seems sensible to me. Oh, thank you, Sarah. Singing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Thank you very much. Frugal is good. Yeah, well, I mean, I say, as Diggy says, his idea was good in theory, but really needed more details. Well, that's up to his underlings and the people in the Department of Health to figure out, surely. Not the actual president to actually figure the whole thing out and go, there you go. Yeah, I'll say these are. That was probably, I'll say, the various caveats were probably put in by other people to get it through. Well, we'll only vote for it if you do this. It's also, yeah, also is messing everything up. I mean, you're probably not aware in the States that we had our local elections this week, and the Tories got absolutely demolished, thankfully, or Conservatives. So we're going to be going more left. Yay! I don't think he had any figure it out was working with him. Yeah, that could have been the problem. You need to surround yourself with people who know what they're doing and know what they're talking about. As Liz Truss found out the hard way. So even the air ambulance over here. So if the helicopter gets called out, it doesn't cost you a penny. I mean, yes, I know people go, oh, but you pay for it in your taxes. Yeah, and well, national insurance payments, but that's all calculated on how much you earn. And because I don't earn a lot, I don't pay very much at all. And I think the most I've ever paid for national insurance is about £20 a month, which covers all my healthcare, police, fire service. So if you're on a lower income, you don't pay as much in. If you're on a higher income, you pay more in. So if you've got higher income, you've got more disposable income. I'd rather pay for a $3 trillion war than free public health insurance. Yeah, that's the problem. Oh, we can't afford it. No, it costs too much to implement that. As I always say, cut bloody military spending. I take everything as sarcasm, don't worry about it. Yeah. This is it. They're so against the other side that if there's something that's obviously good, going to help everyone, the majority of people, it's going to be a good thing for the country as a whole. Well, if the other side said it, well, then it must be bad. We can't vote for that. Total bill for my last 7-minute trip was £0, and mine as well. The most I've ever paid for medical treatment outside of eyes or teeth, don't get me started on teeth, is nine. Well, was it last year? Or was it the year before? Oh, it was it was the year before last when I had my brain fart, should we call it? And I had 2 prescriptions. So I had anti-anxiety drugs. No, three prescriptions. Sorry, I had anti-anxiety drugs. I had antidepressants, and I had sleeping tablets. I had to do the doctor's thing. 3 sets of tablets. £27. Thank you. Yeah, I'll say it's we're all in debt to the military-industrial complex forever. Don't get sick, and especially not on the weekend. Yeah, and if you've got a lifelong condition, such as Mary's got a couple of little things which we won't go into, then you don't pay for the medication that you need. You get your prescriptions for nothing. Yeah, I think it was what I heard a while back, but I've seen a couple of videos that said the same and whatever. The US spends more on defense than the next 26 countries combined, 25 of which are allies who will fight on your side. Really? Everybody say, hi, you're NSA agent. I'm pretty sure this chat is being watched closely. Yeah. But unfortunately for them, I'm English and I'm in England. Hello. You have no jurisdiction over me. A lot of the cause of the illness. If people could go to the doctors and get the treatment they needed, they would be back to work sooner. They would if there was a decent system, they would take the time off to get better before they went back to work, not spread it around to everyone else at work. which would in turn make the company more profitable because everyone is working more efficiently. They're happier, they're less stressed, they're healthier. Duh. Drones get shot down around here as well. I actually put that up on Reddit, and then there's someone was talking about a drone flying over their property. I was like, well, around here they just get shot down. Howdy, Ricky. Sorry if I didn't see you earlier. I'm in Thailand while driving. I have injury compensation 80,000 baht and death compensation 100,000 baht. I was like, I'm not signing that. I'm diving, not driving. The easy way is to just put more money into it, which, there's plenty spare. Plenty spare that's going into things that don't need money spending on. Half the military budget and put it in healthcare and education. You might, oh no, they'll never do that because you can't have healthier, more educated population means you can't get away with the crap that you can get away with. So China and India are way more populated. Yes, I believe they do. Yeah, that's like Eastern medicine. Yeah, I mean, a lot of our modern medicines are just synthetic forms of things that occur naturally. Look at aspirin, for example. That's naturally in willow bark. It's salicylic acid, and the willow is the salix. Yeah, exactly. It's there's too many businesses and too many egos and monies and things, and people won't. Yeah. I mean, there's whichever affiliation we have, whichever political parties we choose to follow. I think we can all agree they all have one thing in common. They're all out for themselves. Dark, but I think that's probably true. And I stand by my theory that the reason we had Liz Truss as Prime Minister for 2 weeks, or whatever it was so that the guy who's now Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, could get all his money offshore and make sure everything was in order, because he's absolutely loaded, so that he couldn't get done for anything while he was actually in charge. Although, I'll say lab-created versions of nature, and plenty of the other ones are lab-created versions of toxins from nature. That's the main thing. Like chemotherapy, it's highly toxic, but they pretty much hope that it kills the cancer before it kills you. We are all lab rats. We are. I don't think it's banned in the US yet. I think it's getting there. It's been banned in politics in the UK. So none of the politicians in the House of Commons or the House of Lords actually have it. Oh, we're all weird. Oh, this lady that I got. Massage, Chinese medicine, local eating, and organic. So that's a lot, other than things like where you can't get. you accidentally chop your finger off with a table saw, or you're in a car accident, or those kind of accidents that you can't really help. It's just these things happen every once in a while. But a lot of illness these days is caused purely by stress and a bad diet. Now, when it's cheaper to go and get a McDonald's than it is to cook a home cooked meal, meat and 2 veg with potatoes, you can't blame people for going to McDonald's. If they're on a low income, it's cheaper, which is why poorer people are generally less healthy. They can't afford the nice foods. They're constantly anxious and stressed about money, and commit myself to the ideas that make the most sense for us as a people. Make the most sense for the majority. That's the thing. There's always going to be things and people that it doesn't work for, whatever the thing is. I mean, there's I don't know the channel, but it's Food Wars, I think. They did a comparison between UK and US McDonald's. Jeez, the list of chemicals that go into your fries is unbelievable. Ours is literally potatoes, salt, oil. That's how you cook chips. You don't need flavour enhancers and preservatives and stabilisers and blah blah blah. I want to fix income with retirement. Can't imagine a lot of elderly folks can even buy groceries with their social security. Exactly. And I'll say it's another thing I've seen on videos, because I do watch some channels where it's Americans reacting to English things or European things. And there was one about groceries. Was it Evan Erdinger? I think it might have been. And yeah, just how bloody expensive it is over there just to buy a standard grocery item. Now we've got our VAT, our value added tax system in here, so everything you buy has 20% added to it. It's on the ticket. But not everything is a VAT item. So essential foods and things like that, and children's shoes, you don't pay VAT on. So, you can buy food for a decent price. And yeah, everything has gone up by a third. It's ridiculous. But the reasons for that: the economy's crashing, wars, greedy bar stewards. Last summer in the UK being ludicrously hot meant our crops weren't too good. So the price of things like wheat and other stuff that gets grown in the UK has gone up as well because there's less of it. Hello, Crystal. How are you? Lower price items require more cooking time. The elderly sometimes don't have the stamina. And yes, and a longer cooking time also means a higher energy bill as well, whether it's electric or gas or whatever you're cooking on. So I have to start selling plants to start. Well, there we go. If anyone wants any plants, right, that side of the ocean anyway, give Tommy a message. And if Tommy's got any fishies or shrimpies or something that he's breeding that you want some of, let him know. Ooh. A few restaurants out here don't have a GST number, but they still charge GST. Huge, which I'm guessing general sales tax. Still charged it, and there's a huge mess. Lots of restaurants now that places have to pay a fine. Yes. There we go. And there's all Tommy's contacty stuffs. So if you do need it, hit a brother up, give him a hand. Yeah, sorry, Tommy. And yay for Foxy, you hit 1,000. I got to 1,800 and a little bit, and it's just crashed and died and stayed there. So, but yay, Roxy. She looks and sounds better than I do, so she did, and is more knowledgeable, so deserves more subs. And she does the whole edity thing as well. So, we're selling cold shrimp. Don't know what they are, so I can't label them. I say cold shrimp are the best shrimp. That means you've not narrowed down the genetics ludicrously and made them weak. Good question, milady. Do you have a spot to see to sell the stuff on? I think. If not, I'm sure if you sent him a message, he would send you a picture of what he's got. And if you just watch his videos, you'll see his plants are awesome. Woohoo! Whip's got a community page as well. I've got one of them. The thing is, every time I put something up on it, no one ever comments or does anything, so I kind of gave up. Thinking to breed a pistogramma for sales, just add other varieties. Is it profitable? I know it won't be like arrows, rays, and discus, still need more variety, and you'll sell a lot more pistos than you will arowana, rays, and discus. They'll sell for a lower price. Yeah, I mean, trying to think. Pistos over here, depending on the flavour, they're between £10 and £30 to buy in a store, so you're probably looking between £3 and maybe £10 a fish to sell to a store. From my perspective, is how I see it anyway. So yes, that would be the thing. And they look after their own babies, so you don't have to do a huge amount once you've got a pistos breeding. So once they got to a certain size, pull them out the tank and stick them in a grow out tank, and job done. I think golden fires and stuff a bit fancier. Yeah, I mean, if you've got the water and the conditions that they like, go for it. Give me for export too. Yeah, I mean, the pistos don't need a big tank. You can breed them in a 10-gallon, so 40 litre, whichever way you want to look at it. So, you know, it's not like you need a 200-gallon tank or something to breed them in. So the tank itself doesn't cost a lot to run. They don't eat a lot. If you go with a slightly larger tank, I mean, if you're up with a 20-gallon, you could stick a pair of bristlenose in there as well and breed those in the same tank, and then have some kind of, probably not a live, I mean, you could go guppies, I suppose, or platies or something, not that they're actually generally worth selling. Yeah, you put something else in there as well, so you can have a very pretty tank that runs at quite a profit. Oh, one day I'll have a real YouTube. And we look forward to your first video, my lady. That'll be a good one to see. Golden Fire each cost me 700 rupees, which is about 650. And they would probably sell for between 25 and 20 and £30, depending on the store in the UK. So you know what your numbers are and sellings and shippings and stuff, so you can work it out from there. Because I ain't got a clue what it costs to ship fish, export wise, and licenses and things. As Whip says, Tom, I know I'd support you, but I've got to wait until I stop killing plants. Yes. Actually, yeah. I do have one plant I will be selling soon, which if I grab the camera up, we might be able to see. It's not looking too good because I think it's been eaten, but yeah, that's a piece of Anubias that snapped off. Don't think it likes that tank though, because it's disappearing very, very, very rapidly. It might be the snails eating it, because they haven't got a huge amount of other food in there. Yeah, that was just an accidental piece of Anubias that snapped off. You know, my Anubias is like my crits; they just go nuts. Exporting to EU is way easier than the UK. UK is way too complicated. Oh yes, and expensive, and even as I said, and this is pre-Brexit, I believe. Pre it all going pear shaped anyway. I sent a care package to Marriott, and I think it was nearly £30 to send it. I was like, but when it costs more to send than the value of the stuff in the box, it's a bit scary. If I brought flowers home, my wife would get mad at me. Not if you stole them off of a grave. Yeah, you bring home something you can plant and grow, and especially something you can eat. Hello, Debs. How are you, my dear? I mean, I joke I don't grow anything to eat because I generally don't eat veg, but I grow things that I can feed to the plecos because it's then cheaper. Because if I can get maybe 6 months worth of zucchini to feed all the bristlenoses, courgettes to the UK peeps, then that's saving me a couple of, yeah, it's going to save me quite a bit of money. And considering like a pack of seeds costs a couple of quid, it's so the other thing you could do, Tom, is set up an OnlyFans. An OnlyFans, I'm sure you get plenty of people paying to see you do things on OnlyFans. Or perhaps as you are relatively good at it, or very good at it, depending on how you want to put it, a sort of DIY handyman type channel on YouTube. That probably make quite a bit of money. Possibly our body oil is coming to Asda, Tesco's, and Sainsbury's to people. Ooh. No offense, Ricky, but I won't be buying that because I don't do things like that. Quid is like buck whip. It's what we call a pound. There we go. Then it goes from there. So quid becomes a squid, and then you get an octopus. Yeah, all gets very strange. But yeah, a quid is a pound. Same way as a dollar is a buck. My wife's idea of decorations are glass jars of preserves and or other canned goods. Nothing wrong with that. Some of them labels are very pretty to look at. You know, it's you live to your means. Or I try to anyway. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot of stuff just for prettiness. India's largest selling body oil brand. Good, I don't use it. Yeah. Only oil I've ever had on my body is motor oil, suspension oil, very hot oil out of the frying pan. Quirky, how you doing? Not up to much. Just sit here waffling randomly, talking about all sorts of weird subjects. We even managed to get through politics without upsetting anyone, so we're going well. We managed to steer clear of religion, though, because that's just going to cause all the problems. Yes, what else have we got? I was going to waffle about for 5 minutes. What can we waffle about for 5 minutes? Oh, big girl DD. Fish fan mama. I did, thank you very much, Debbie. I got some very nice presents from Mary. Very useful ones. And a big pile of munchies as well. So, yes, we got. Oh, here we go. We'll go for it again. So, we got 3-way USB adapter. Very useful because, fish keepers, we need as many plug sockets available as possible. So that means I can plug my tablet, phone, and then random for like everything else I might want to charge up. Bike lights, head torches, GoPro, a nice big chunky heavy power bank so I can charge things up remotely when I'm out and about. A pair of binoculars so I can either do nice stuff in the countryside and look at things further away, or I can just have a perv. And a gift card for the National Trust, which we will be using later in the year, and we'll be exploring some places and I will be making videos of. I love science fiction. We can talk religion if you want. No, we didn't actually talk about ghosts today, Ricky. I mean, other than weird light anomaly going on there, which is just a weird trick of the light. It's not actually a ghost because it hasn't moved. Yeah, exactly. Science fiction. Well, it's not really science fiction. It's more just fiction. Unless we're talking Scientology. It was one of the old jokes from one of the early series of Red Dwarf, where they found like a trash thing floating in space, and they brought it aboard and opened it up to see what was inside, and they found a rare first copy or first printing of the Bible, and on the opening page is like, "To Bert, I hope you enjoy this work of fiction, Dave," or whatever was written on it. So yes, it had the missing first page was in there. Yes, they are all fabulous prezzies. Mary always does get me things that I love, that are awesome presents that I'm really not expecting because I have no idea. Yes, it was a joke in Red Dwarf, Ricky. They found the missing first page of the Bible, which actually says it's a work of fiction. Yeah, that's how British TV treats religion. Exactly, they're all connected. Yes. They've all got the same stories and the same characters. They're basically just Hollywood remakes. We're beeping away again. Is this more random massages? More random people going, "Happy birthday." Yep. it is. More random people on Messenger and WhatsApp. Yeah, so it's all the east and then all the west, and yeah, it all comes back to. Daughter woke up with a bite wound on it in her thigh once when she was very young. That's not a good one. So if it's only happened the once, I wouldn't be too worried about it being a paranormal thing. You guys got to go walk the dog. Bring him past and I'll give him a fuss. And yes, it is that time. Well spotted. And Tommy, in his usual highly philosophical style, all religion comes from the concept of thinking there is something better than you out there in the universe, which is what inherently makes us strive to be better than we are. So I dig it. No matter the label. Yeah. The thought behind it, the ideas behind it, I don't have an issue with. And I don't have an issue with anyone having any religion they like. Just don't try and force it on other people. Yes, Web is my B-day as well. And that is the cue, that is my time is up. And when I'm 64, if I look like this when I'm 64, I'll be well happy. But anyway, thank you everyone for putting up with me waffling away on random subjects for a couple of hours. Thank you, June, for the gifted memberships. Thank you all for wishing me a happy birthday. Have a wonderful day yourselves and a wonderful week. Stay safe. Be good. Peace out. Enjoy your hobbies. Rock on. Bye bye. Birthday shop, do 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 do. Birthday shop, do 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 do. Birthday shop, do 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 do. Ah.